Okay, we are live. So, how are you, Yuri?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good. I'm going to just let a few people know that we're live so we can talk about EOS and talk about what's going on.
Excellent. And there's a weird feedback loop on your system. Oh,
Just 1 second. I'm having a bit of a sound feedback, so I'm going to have to work on that.
sure. Is this the perils of going live? We didn't check our sound beforehand.
Yeah. Well, no, there wasn't a way to check it because I'm getting feedback on myself.
Excellent.
I will. Yeah, it's good now. It's all fine. Cool.
Okay.
So, so I wanted to talk to you about EOS. So we're here. We're getting our first live. So it always goes with a few tests along.
Bugs. Yeah, exactly. Few bugs, but it's looking well. So yes, you want to talk about EOS. What other exciting things are happening in that world other than it being hacked?
Well, talk about the hack, Yuri, and I'll talk about the technicals afterwards.
Excellent. So yeah, I think we've talked about EOS on our channel before, so I won't backtrack on that. But I was trying to.
Why would you do such a thing?
Right. So I was trying to find out, because I know we're going to talk about why they keep on jumping a little bit. And so I have been looking at some of their news because I don't necessarily track them all the time. And a huge story that came out about them, other than their price tag jumping up and down, is that on February 25th, so not that long ago, a hacker moved 2.9 million coins from them.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, a lot of these projects all have different forms of scam or issue things. And sometimes I just wonder if some of this stuff is just classic rookie maneuvers. I mean, we talk about Tron and the fact that their original white paper, people proved that a lot of it was just copied and forged from other papers. Now, that doesn't mean that Justin Sun did this, although people want to point the finger at the guy at the top because, he said, write the white paper, and someone wrote the white paper, and what do you get? Yeah. But there's something to be said that, there's a lot of these projects that don't exactly have all the best makings of good companies, but a lot of it's just people that are not from big corporate industry that have somehow ended up in very, very big places. And if I think back to the beginnings of Facebook, I mean, you want to troll somebody, troll the way that Zuckerberg behaved at the beginning, going around his jeans and t-shirts and showing up to Wall Street and was like, I don't need to dress a certain way. I don't have to behave a certain way. And now he's been on the Senate, recently. And let's be honest. I mean, he was sitting there in a suit and tie, and I said, so he's complying, or he's given in, or he's given up on trying to just be himself. I don't know, or grew up a bit. I mean,
a little bit of both. So yes, I totally agree. It is probably people being thrust in the spotlight who maybe aren't supposed to be. But this is a little bit different from Facebook because Facebook wasn't trying to hold your money in any kind of way. Like Facebook's problems are Facebook's problems, but Facebook didn't develop a system and say, why don't you guys give me money and we're going to make it secure, and then they not follow through on that.
Yeah.
So again, this is only just an article that I was reading about it, and it said, and this is what the article said, I have not verified all of this, but that anonymous hacker was able to move $7.7 million from a hacked account because they failed to do an update.
Ouch.
On the 23rd. So that's what the article says. So yeah, I mean, there's probably more to that than just what that is, but that's the latest. When I look at EOS news, it's their coin is jumping around, and then that, which is, not the best.
Let me show an argument that says EOS coin is not actually jumping around, but is actually a major play here, which if it does what it could potentially do, could mean
Yeah.
a major move upwards. That would not be uncommon.
Okay. Well, let's look at the charts then. To the charts.
All right, to the charts, as we say on Patreon. Oh, my little guys come to visit. Both of my guys have come to. We're live, and my boys have come to visit and say hello. So they're going to say hi quickly.
Maybe are they hiding? Oh,
they're hiding,
okay, no.
but we're live, so that's life. They're gonna come in here and
say hi. Okay.
So here's what we're looking at, which is really interesting. Do you see anything that would resemble a letter?
Yeah. Yes, I see like a lazy W.
A lazy W because it's going sideways.
Like sideways, yeah, and
yeah.
Like so hastily written. But W though.
I kind of drew this out. So what I did was I took the two bottom lines down here, okay, and I did this. Okay, hang on one second. So everybody in the background, you have to be quiet because I'm live, guys. All right. That's family life, you know. They're all going to come in and say hello.
Exactly. That's nice.
This is the reality of what really goes on when we're recording. So they get to see all the unedited stuff this time.
Yeah, exactly. They don't see our like, let's cut it and hold on a second and yeah.
No. So look, and here's the thing. I drew this out back in, well, January 5th. I mean, or 6th, something like that. That's a long time ago, right? It's almost it's over 2 months ago I drew this out. And when I drew this line, and I completely forgot about this. We've never talked about this.
No, we haven't.
When I drew this line out.
The bottom line we're talking about now?
This bottom line down here, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Now I drew that line out after we'd gone up and then come down and gone up to this point where we failed to reach the previous high of the last one. And then it came down again. And I said, I'm just going to draw this line here and see if that's like a support line because I was interested. And I wasn't thinking about W formations then. This is a really big monster W. You don't see one this big very often. So I thought this is amazing. So here's what I did. I drew the line out and then I took this line and I literally did a copy and paste. I cloned it.
Okay.
I moved it up here.
Yeah.
Just same exact starting point, which is where you can see it ends up, that there.
Yeah.
It's the same line. Okay. So I'm just proving it's the same line. Now I did that because I wanted to see whether or not we would end up in some sort of a sideways formation of a W, because it doesn't have to always be straight up. Sometimes they're slightly tilted. And in this particular case, I said, well, even though you see kind of a downwarded trend on these two sides of it, you've got this massively strong upward trend here. Now, what I also did was we just posted another episode about our interview with Trader Cobb from Down Under, who's a great trader. So I stuck in his two little 10 and 20 lines. So the pink one is the 10 and the purple is the 20. And what he talked about was when you're in a trend upwards, it's going to just, higher highs, higher lows. There's a low. There's another low. There's another low. There's a high, a higher high. And it just keeps sliding up. It did one big dip, but of course that was the same dip everybody experienced for everything. It recovered and went right back above. And it's tested it 3 or 4 times here, but always stayed above. So that's interesting because it says we're in this nice, strong upward formation that's been going for quite a while. But now we're at this interesting point right here, which I'm just loving, is the fact that we're just sitting on this point right here. And here's how W formations work.
Okay.
You want to basically go up higher than the previous high, but because I've drawn this on a slope, then actually it could be valid that it goes higher than the line rather than the previous high. So if it goes above this line, it could potentially move, a big move upwards, which is not unusual. If it fails here, then you might want to consider having stop outs just in case. Now, if I were to look at this from a 4-hour, because you get a bit more granular in terms of like where you might want to step out of this in case you were to do so. Let me see if I can get a little bit more of that W in here. Where is it gone? Harder to see in the 4-hour, actually.
Yeah, it is. That's all right, though. We know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like a bad crayon draw.
That's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
So okay, it's fine. It's okay. So if you look at this, I'll just kind of zoom into this a bit so you can. There we go. That's cool.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at is it's got this kind of point here where if you really wanted to play the Trader Cobb game, you'd say I'm going to stop out just below the purple line. So I'd set it for about 25,126, but it's a big drop from where we're at now, which is 27,457. It's a really big drop. So I'm playing a slightly different point of view personally, which is I'm thinking more like, if it goes up and keeps going up, then I don't really care. Just let it run.
Yeah.
If it were to come down, then I'm looking at something like more, below where it, because here was the previous one where it opened and then closed down below and then jumped right back up. So I'm kind of thinking to play somewhere in the middle here, something a little bit conservative, like 26564.
Okay.
For example. So it gives me a little bit of playroom here. But because if it does, pop here and does not pop over it and turns back down, sometimes these things can be brutal turn downs. and because we're in crypto, you just don't know if this is a real technical play or not. So I'd rather be a bit conservative, but you can play the trader cob game. If you got in down here anywhere and you're played all the way up here, there's no harm in just setting a stop out that's just below the purple line, which would be at 25,149, let's say, or something in that range, 25,080, something like that. And if it turns out that nothing happens, that it keeps going up, great, right? But if it does happen to drop, then you can say, well, thank God Steve and Yuri were here and they gave us a hint that it might drop, and thank God we were wise enough to put a stop out just in case. And if in fact it were to be going up further, then you can reset your stop out, your stop out for higher points. So that's perfectly fine. But EOS is trading, very nicely above all the trend lines too. So it's, I hate to say it, Yuri, even though we have had some episodes we've talked about, and we're not happy with the lack of real democratization by having a very small number of people that vote. And it's not really what we would call appropriate for consensus. Needless to say, the technical chart tells us otherwise. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things the technical chart does that has nothing to do with the fundamentals of it. So it's it's a good lesson that sometimes you have to separate those two and go with what your plan is. And in this case, the plan is follow the technical charts.
So I would say, you're kind of looking for something where we close. Let's just say we closed up around, maybe not today because I'm on a day chart. So it could be because we're up here pretty high. We've still got another, 4.5 hours until the market shifts to the next, I think it's, 12 o'clock GMT. So I think it's about another 8:30, so 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. I can't do my math. It's about 4.5 hours. So in about 4.5 hours, we'll have the day finished. And so if we're seeing this kind of bullish behavior, then it could close up in here someplace and it could open here and continue upwards. But if it were to close on this particular day, then I'd like to see it close someplace around 28, call it 28.1, just because they're it's just a wedge above 28.117, 28.140, 28.150, something like that. That would be great. I'd be very happy just to see that little clip above. And that gives us some room for it to pop over the next day. And then it could come down a little bit. It could go up a little bit, but we want to just see it open and close above and stay above. That would be the ideal scenario. And then, you know what they say, to the moon.
And to the moon. Okay, but let's look at the other side. So let's play devil's advocate.
Sure.
So what's the support line you're looking for, or how could we tell if things do not go to the moon?
Well, I mean, so the other thing is that if you want to play the other W game, which is the height of this particular previous high, which is 30160, then you could argue that if this line were not valid, then you'd want to get to 30160.
Okay.
Which is just here. And if we get to that point, we want to go above that. And that's your next major indicator of a move upwards to a next level. I did notice that when Ether and Bitcoin were selling off, EOS didn't really get affected, which I thought was rather interesting. It was less affected by the move.
Okay.
So what was your question then? I'm sorry.
So what should we be looking for? So you said before a W could mean it goes high, or it could mean like this is a point where it could suddenly drop. What are some indicators that we should look for in case it starts to trend down? Like what?
Well, you'll see the same kind of line like this.
Yeah. So it's just like is a potential they could just suddenly like just drop out of the sky in this with this trading pattern?
If it's really testing here and it's invalidated because it's already kind of hit this point anyway and kind of retreated a little bit, right? So that already tells me that there's something happening at this point. Okay. If it turned out that it didn't, the next day we open and it just doesn't move up and the volume's not there, then it could retreat all the way back down to the point where it opened, which would be taking us right back down to 25,704, which is just above this purple line anyway. So we still have some, some space here in the event that something's, going on. So that still gives us some headway in case it came all the way down. We're still in an upward trend anyway, and that could give us another window to continue bumping along up and down. But if it were to break below this purple line, which is a 20-day EMA, then I would say you're potentially looking at something where it could head down toward the 100-day moving average support line, the 50-day moving average support line, the 200, and they're all kind of jumbled in here together, someplace in this range between 23 and 22. But now, I mean, look at the drop I'm just talking about. I'm up here at 28, talking about going all the way down to 22. I mean, you don't really want to be in that game. If you're already down below this purple line, I mean, because it's moved up so sharply anyway, that I don't feel real good about wanting to go from 27.5 down to 22, which is why I said I'd be more inclined to just look at something else to exit out. If you've already gotten in someplace further down along this area range down here, anywhere down here, it's profit. Take the profit and then just wait for the next sell-off and then, whatever. But if it does break above, and we're still seeing some upward movement even now. So if we do see a break above, then I'd say, hell, run with it, let it run a bit higher, and then just keep setting new limits higher for selling and taking some profit because it's crypto. We could go up 30% and we could drop back down 40. There's nothing stopping that from happening. So I'm saying to people to day trade. I'm not saying to people to hodl. I'm saying just play smart because we all got burned, yours included, and same with you.
Oh yeah, me too.
Every one of us got burned by not selling because we didn't even understand that a market could drop 80 or 90% because we came from the world of real stocks where a 50% drop is insane.
Yeah, exactly.
So who does that? Yes, 20% drops. But then again, we were also a bit naive because we also know that stock market doesn't go up more than 0.5% or 1% or a few points in a day. And we were sitting there loving the upside and forgetting about the downside because we just were caught up in the drift. I mean, that's the way it is.
We were. Well, so if you look at this chart, in December, it looks like, so it was trading around 0.03 and then dropped in the end of December, maybe early January. It lost almost 50% of its value.
Where are you looking? Just say it again.
The beginning part of your W.
Just here.
Just here. So there's our high at 0.03. And then if you follow that red line all the way down.
Yep, all the way down here.
Yeah. So it's
and then all the way up again and all the way down again. So you're getting this ricochet up and down. This is really, like I said, it's a really extreme W.
Yeah.
It's really quite, I mean, in relative terms, if you compare, EOS being at like 14 or 17 or whatever it was, $20, last year compared to moving between, I mean, this is Ether pricing, but going between 0.017 and 0.027. It's not as significant in terms of the number of dollars difference, but in terms of percentages,
it's still,
it is a different game. Yeah,
it is drastic. So just a question from the technical side, what potentially causes this W and this type of movement?
Madness. Crypto.
Madness. It is madness.
Madness. I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, when it gets like this extreme in such a short time span, other than the fact that we're dealing with the ups and downs of what the hell's going on in crypto, this is a really, for me, I mean, it looks really big, but maybe if I were to, make it a bit smaller and less pronounced, and I were to zoom out a bit and show you the bigger picture, then you might say, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not much history there.
Oh yeah, it's a little slow in the history. Okay, you're right. Like we were a little more extreme close up, but still though, that is still.
I'm using Binance TradingView, and it seems to be cutting off history data for some reason. It's not very helpful. but
doesn't like us. That's all right.
no, but we do know is that we've seen plenty of times where it's been, significantly higher, last year, or
Yeah.
we even over here we were up at, the heady heights of 33, and then we came over here to 31. But I mean, this is a very gradual pattern of trending upwards.
Yeah.
Which is also very interesting because it's been trending upwards since really October 2018, which is way before everybody else kind of bottomed out, or apparently may have bottomed out. But this has been kind of just gradually just kind of churning along here. And it's kind of gone a little bit, kind of, if you look at kind of trending upwards and then kind of curving kind of thing, right? So it's interesting for me because I don't know if that's also an indication that it's losing steam, because it's just one of these things where you could draw all the lines in the world to figure out what's going on. So I was just more aware of the fact that we have this kind of very pronounced W that's formed. And of course I can make it look very big if I want to. I mean,
right. So while you're doing that, I did a quick check, and it's that price is $3.77 US.
Right.
So yeah. But it may say that on your chart right now, but I couldn't see it. So
no, because I've got Ether pricing here. So I'm just doing EOS ETH pricing. I could have done BTC or dollar, but I just went to Ether because I track a lot of stuff in Ether for mostly because if you get, 5 Ethers of a trade versus 1 Bitcoin, you get more volatility or more, let's call it candlestick movement with Ether. So I use the Ether charts for that reason. But I'm sure there's plenty of people that would have argument that says that's just crap and you don't have to do that because there's plenty of decimal places for Bitcoin, but it's a style, my choice.
It is.
Style things against Ether as long as the trade volume is there.
Yeah.
If the trade volume is not there, obviously I'm using USDT, I'm using Bitcoin. Yeah.
Well, excellent.
Yeah. And, so I should just mention, of course, and, for people who are watching or who do watch this after. So we do have a Patreon channel where we get into this every week. And we've launched the Patreon channel because we're working really hard. We do this for free. We haven't monetized this at all. And we'd like to do this a lot more. So we've created the Patreon channel to get some help. So we would love it if you guys could pop over to Patreon and subscribe to our channel over there where we get into all the details of trading, and it's a small fee per month, but we're really focused on what you guys want. Whatever you want us to cover, we'll get into it and dig into it. And we've done coverage. I've lost, I don't know how many videos we've done, not that many because we've only launched recently, but we've cranked out quite a lot of content in a short time.
Yeah, I mean, we've done just 4 today. So today we covered Bitcoin again, Ethereum, Litecoin, and now EOS. So we're just as necessary. So we do regularly follow a few different projects, but as necessary, we jump on and we let our listeners know what they need to know about what's happening.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, it's cool. So, I mean, I just mentioned that because the other thing is with our Patreon channel, if you sign up, or I should say, when you sign up, you will automatically receive a referral code. So we want to give something back to all of you as well. And we will do another episode about this and the details of how it works. But effectively, we've created our own referral code. So if you sign up, then you'll get a referral code in the email. And that referral code will allow you to send it to your friends and invite them to join our channel. And if they do, then whatever you're paying, we will give, whatever your friends are paying, should I say, we will take 10% of each of the people you refer, and the fees that are coming in from the number of referrals that you're providing us, we will give that back to you. So we're giving 10% of every referral in fees back to you. So if you were to bring 10 people in, our show would be free. And that was what we did this for a reason, because we want people to have a reason to be here, but we want to be able to monetize so that we can actually do this for a living because we really like it.
We do.
Maybe too much.
Some days a little bit too much. But is that really a bad thing to be so excited about this, that this is what we want to do all the time?
I mean, it's nice that I like you enough to want to speak to you every day. I mean,
I know. Every day you let me ask you dumb questions and you pretend that they're not dumb at all. And just go along with the flow. And
we're live, so I can answer that as a live question, or I have to pretend to be nice now?
It doesn't matter.
You don't ask dumb questions.
I ask a variety of questions.
You're asking questions to learn, and because you do other things for work, and I do this full time for work in terms of crypto advising and public speaking and writing crypto books with you and other things. I mean, advising exchanges and other stuff like that. I mean, an exchange listing for some projects. I mean, you know, what am I not involved with in crypto other than market making?
That's true.
I even have a trading bot running at home that I run for just the sake of just experimenting and seeing how well or not they work. And in all honesty, they're a lot of hard work to set them up properly, but we're trying them out. I've tried out 3 so far. I'm really liking Acuitas, which is the one that Crypto Crow sent us to try out. And I've had another YouTuber send me 2 other ones to try. So I like to try them.
Yeah.
And of course, we're mining Bitcoin now with ASICs. We are setting up a masternode to mine some coins through masternode staking. So what are we not doing, really?
I know. We're getting our own blockchain set up through Komodo. What else? Yeah. We take everything in stride and we test it out. So we can then give our results to our community, because why not?
Yeah. So
what are all those beeps? Are those beeps good? Are people like beeping because they don't like us or because they like us?
Hang on a second. Somebody else may have joined our... Oh, there's someone who's joined us. Hang on a second. Oh, Jason Appleton, Mr. Crypto Crow. I will promote him to panelist and let him in.
Oh, we made this live?
Yeah.
Well, we're just letting everybody on this show now, aren't we?
What's up, Crow? We can see you, but we can't hear you yet.
It's a nice envelope you have in the background.
No sound.
Oh, no sound. That's too bad. Hi, Jason.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Now I can hear everybody and see everything. And cool. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? It's nice to have you over on our show for a change. This is cool.
I like the idea of just kind of hanging out with other people and just, taking the pressure off of all the button pushing and everything you have to do when you're hosting and just.
Oh, no kidding. Well, we're trying something as an experiment. We're using Zoom with the live feed straight to YouTube just to see how it works. I mean, I've had some
That's
problems.
what I do.
Yeah? We were having some problems with OBS trying to feed it through Zoom with some flicker problems. I think it's probably related to not enough.
On OBS, just use your display capture.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm getting a flicker. So I think it's because I don't have enough CPU or something on the laptop to stream it properly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got it set up. It took me a while to get it all set up on mine, but
yeah, I've got the whole setup. I just have the screen capture piece and all the configuring all the screens, just like you do on your show. I've got the same thing going, but I've not been able to get the actual stream to work because of the flicker. So it's like
yeah, you guys just have my webcam version of my video.
We get the green screen of you today.
Yeah, there's no flash and trash on this. It's just all me.
But you could put up like your because we're in Zoom, you could put up your background image still, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can do it. No? Oh.
No, because all that happens through my OBS, which the only camera that's piped into OBS is my 4K camera.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So when I'm using Zoom, you couldn't see me. So before, because I have a Black Magic something or other, and it won't let you put that video into 2 different places at the same time. So I had to get a little webcam to throw up so the people I Zoom with could actually see me.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. So how do you watch the YouTube at the same time that you're streaming? Because I was trying to do that and I was getting feedback on myself on sound.
You plug in earphones.
I have I have the earphones, but when the sound coming through the channel is playing through the mic through the headphones at the same time that I'm sitting here talking to you and you guys are talking. It's like I'm getting a feedback loop or a delay of sound twice.
Yeah, I don't know. So if I unplug my headphones or my earbuds, then it'll do that because your microphone is picking up on the audio that you're hearing through your speakers. So you're getting that feedback. But with the earbuds in, the audio is going directly to my ears, not back into the speaker.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were just talking about EOS over here. I don't know if you've been watching it at all.
No, people were giving me crap on the last video that I did because apparently I was talking about how fantastic Tron's been doing. And then I touched on EOS.
Yeah,
they were trolling me a little bit. And I told them, I said, look, I'm not going to hide the fact that I have a bit of a bias against EOS, but that was unintentional. They said that when I was talking about how great Tron was doing, and I pulled up some stuff and saw all these dApps on EOS, and then I quickly changed the subject, like I was trying to avert attention. And that wasn't at all what I was doing. I guess I just lost interest in talking about EOS in that second. It was definitely not intentional. But look, when I think about all the different blockchains that are out there, obviously EOS is a front runner. I mean, there's no questioning it. I just have no interest in it. That's just how I feel about it. There's a lot of shit around the organization and the people that are running it and the different things. And it's like, just because they're huge right now and just because they have an insane amount of money in their coffers doesn't mean I have to support it. And it doesn't mean I have to hold it up. And so I just speak my mind. I want to see Cardano, I actually just messaged one of the guys from Emergo that Charles had connected me with a while back. And I told him, I was like, what's your schedule? I want to start really pushing deeper into Cardano because I feel like it's going to be a front runner. We just have to, their development cycle is such a process with so many people. And so,
so Cardano and Neo are the two I really want to see more coming out of them, just so that we have a bit more balance in the force.
Neo, the stuff between Neo and Ontology is interesting. Ontology is a great, it's like you have two different countries basically kind of pushing against each other in the two development teams. And it's almost like they share a girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's so much stuff going on between those teams. And so I have both of them. We'll see what happens. Who's going to win? As long as they both do well, which I'm sure they probably will, then everybody wins. Who's going to be the leader? I don't really know, but I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there may not be one leader. There may not be one winner in the end, anyway. I mean, the winner will be whoever gets purchased by Facebook or Amazon or whatever, and then the whole thing becomes commoditized, and decentralization gets taken over by centralized firms that somehow managed to convert the whole thing. I mean, that's my biggest worry, to be honest.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, man, once everything is really caught on and the use cases continue to grow, like right now, the majority of dApps on any of these blockchains are based on gambling or collectibles games.
Mm-hmm.
And it very few, because there are very few eyeballs on the space as of right this minute, because there's no FOMO. Everything's been very bearish. Nothing's exciting right now. So it's not drawing in all these new people. And
no, that's for sure.
I think I think these dApps are in development. I have to assume that a lot of these teams are trying to create these, end all be all dApps that are going to bring in the masses. But I think it's interesting. I've just started really diving into the different dApps and such, but there isn't anything that I'm like, oh, I have to use this.
No,
this really.
No, in fact, there was you were doing a live, I think, was it a couple of days ago, and you put up this website of all the dApps that are out there.
Right.
Do you remember the URL that you put up? Because it was a really cool site.
Yeah, I think. Well, there were a couple of them. Let me go watch my video real quick. No, I'm kidding. I think I think it was dApps Radar. Hold on, let me Google search it. Yeah, dappradar.com was one of them.
There was another one, actually. It was like Store of the dApps or something like this.
Yeah, because it actually, dApp Radar has a lot.
I can probably share it with people later on, or go watch your last live, and it's there.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about that particular website was it showed you the number of active users over the last month, the number of GitHub.
Stateofthedapps.com.
State of the dApps. That's the one. I really liked that site because I was able to check in on projects that even I've advised. And I was like, shit, they haven't even updated their own stuff. I mean, I know they're doing stuff and it's not even there. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I was really interested in checking out what Golem was doing. I've always liked Golem as a project.
Me too. I hold it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That's ICO.
Yeah. So actually, Crow, my wife, and Yuri, my wife. So she's my wife.
That sounds funny.
That does sound funny.
You know what people say about me on YouTube. You better be careful throwing that term around.
Yeah, well, you're the one that keeps telling everybody my wife is pretty. So.
Yeah, she's great. I get so much shit if I tell somebody on a development team, like, oh, you're beautiful. What do you? Yeah, and then people are like, Carl, you shouldn't be commenting on how pretty people are. I'm like, give me a break.
Yeah, but you haven't seen my wife, though, and my cats.
Speaking of the devil, Eliza from Celsius is messaging me. That's funny. Dude, I tell you what, man, Celsius, I don't even know what that, we were talking about that, so I'm totally rambling. Hopefully I'm not ruining anything.
No, you came at a good time. We were finishing up anything, so.
Yeah, it's just the Celsius, man. It's like I've been a huge supporter of Celsius since the beginning, but the more I work with the individual team members, like even outside of Alex, like we all know Alex is just crazy great, but like his team members are just sharp. Like whatever their particular role is, they're all brainiacs. Like Eliza's a freaking MIT. Like she's got different degrees at different college. I'm like, oh my God.
What does Celsius do?
Celsius, you don't know what Celsius does?
No, crypto.
Oh my gosh, we got to get you guys learned.
Yeah, I mean, we'll trade you token, Theta token and holochain for Celsius and something else.
Oh, I would keep all those. Celsius is going to be solid. I know that they're working on trying to figure out what exchanges they're going to start listing on. By the end of April. I'm pretty sure I can say that without any. Obviously, I'm buying.
Trying to direction if they want some help too, because I do have a tendency to talk to exchanges.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of what Eliza does. She builds these relationships.
Cool.
And she's sending me part of my deck. So anyway. Celsius it's basically it's like a legitimate loan platform.
Okay. It's
not like a BitConnect crap or anything like that. It's an app that you can borrow money against your cryptocurrency. So you're using, like, let's say I've got 8 Bitcoin. Well, depending on the market conditions, I can potentially buy or I could potentially borrow up to 50% of that in cash if I need it. And they hold your cryptocurrency as collateral until you repay the debt.
Cool.
And the way that's facilitated is they're bringing on people who want to earn interest on their cryptocurrency against the people who want to borrow it. And there's so much more to it that they're doing. But I mean, I think they broke like $630 million in total loans.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not like they have $630 million out on loan right now. But just between all the loans that they've made since inception, I think they've got I think their goal is to try and acquire something like 50 million users or something. And that's their end. They're like their big milestone.
That's big.
Cool. Wow.
But do you know who Alex Mashinsky is?
No.
Okay. Alex Mashinsky, he's the CEO of Celsius. He is the patent holder for voice over IP.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
This guy is a straight stud. Like, this guy has been around the tech market. He's had quite a few exits, very successful exits in like fintech startups, technical, different. He has like, I think 15 or something different patents in the tech space.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just solid. It's just
that's the kind of game changing you need. I mean, that's why Yuri and I like Theta Token, because if you look at the team and you look at the backers, it's got Samsung, it's got Sony, it's got former founders of Twitch, former founder of YouTube, and you're like, this is like a dream team.
Yeah, man. This guy is just super sharp. And the thing is I've met him in person. I've talked to him in person. Met him in Vegas when we were doing the World CryptoCon. And the guy was he's just so cool. He's like a super big family man. And he really has this idea that he wants to bring the world of cryptocurrency together in a very viable solution that everybody can benefit from.
Yeah.
And there's nothing shady, scammy, bad. There's my girlfriend.
There's my girlfriend. Now you're in the doghouse. Now I'm gonna troll your exchange and your show and your book and your Patreon channel and your TV show. Let's troll it all.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, little man?
Hey.
That's a little loud. Hello, little man.
You've got a little monkey behind you. I don't know. He's like climbing you guys like a tree.
He's supposed to be sleeping an hour ago.
So yeah, I mean, overall, Celsius is something you should definitely look into. I mean, it's super cheap right now, but the way that they're changing the platform,
yeah,
you're going to be able to ultimately borrow and then generate more Celsius coins or sell tokens, as interest. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff. I know Monarch Wallet, they're either integrating them or they just signed a deal to integrate Cell. So,
Monarch's another one to keep our eyes on. That's really a wallet. Those guys are really working hard to really get in there. I mean, if you take any of the early ones like I Am Token Wallet or others, it's kind of amazing how they've just no energy to keep driving them ahead, and they just don't get talked about. And with Ethereum talking about moving everything to smart contract anyway, every single wallet address will be a smart contract wallet address. When that happens, which probably will be not very far away, then I think it'll be a really interesting game is to see which wallets really perform when you can start to throw in dApps and throw in other sorts of smart contract, easy development platforms and other things. It'll just be a whole different game.
Right.
And,
yeah.
I kind of see back in the day, you talked about Coinomi and you talked about Jack's wallet and you talked about I Am Token and that was it. And now you don't even hear Jax. Nobody even talks about them anymore. It's
Ethos just got bought. So,
and I saw that, and that we talked about Ethos on our show as being a massively, horrible privacy policy. I've been checking out so many privacy policies, and they're like, we track your IP address, we track your URLs where you are, we track what country you're in when you're there, and what time you were there, and your movements, and you're like, whoa, hang on.
I am of the, I get how that might be disconcerting to some, but for me, if I'm thinking about where I'm storing money and where I'm storing any asset of any kind, they damn well better be tracking everything, because if somebody tries to hack it or get into it, or there's something going on that is not me, I hope they have record of it, and I hope they have the ability to track wherever the hell anything goes that leaves my wallet. And
there's something to be said about some of that, but I think it should be a user preference rather than just forced on you, because
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Because right now we're talking about the introduction of a brand new asset class that scares the hell of a lot of people that are not in the know. And the more we cover up and protect from the bad actors in the space, the more opportunities we give them to make this take that much longer for mass adoption. And while overall people I don't want to be tracked, I don't want people to know what I'm doing or where I'm spending my assets, right now, it's an absolute necessity. Let people decide in the future, once this asset class has grown and people are comfortable with its use, and we have more applications capable of keeping everything safe. Until then, we have to just kind of suck it up. That's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah, we won't agree on this one, because I'm coming from the purest blockchain perspective, which is I think we have enough techies out there that know how to build good products.
And that is true, but we don't have enough techies out there to build absolute secure products yet. Everything is getting hacked in one way.
Banks have security issues, and so do a lot of other organizations. So,
but imagine if you found out that your app on your phone, which is your banking app, tracks your every move. How would you feel?
But not a drug dealer or a.
They are doing it anyway.
They're already doing that. Like our weather apps. Like I have the weather app. The weather app knows what I'm doing every second.
I say no to all tracking notifications. I use VPN everywhere I move and breathe.
Yeah. So she's got the weather for Tucson, Arizona, and we're sitting here in London. It's like great. So how's the weather, honey? She's like, fantastic. There's no rain.
It's beautiful out.
Yeah, I know.
A little dry.
Yeah, look, I get both sides of it. I do. But for me right now, I'm definitely much more concerned with security. And I'm much more concerned with the public. You know what I mean? There are more techie people. And there are techie people in cryptocurrency right now. But we don't just want us in this space. We want everybody to be able to use it and we want everybody to feel secure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, give me the mark of the beast chip in my hand and track every time I go to the bathroom. I'm just saying that when it comes to crypto and security, until things really get fleshed out and reach a point where, because let's face it, a lot of hacks happen due to end user error. A lot of hacks happen because end users don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
That's true.
And so we need to get to a certain point where the end user finds it more easy for them to protect themselves, and then maybe we can lighten up on some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I guess the way I kind of look at it is like with anything you build in terms of apps, there's people who are at the extreme end of crypto who get all this stuff, they know the risks, and I kind of think like there's two things in my mind that apps need. One is you need the expert setting versus the non-expert setting. And the experts can then go in and start. Second part would be toggling all the things they want on or off. And if they don't want any of these things like location services and then don't track my data and don't sell it to third parties and all that, let them turn it off. And everybody else that's in the basic service that doesn't understand any of the stuff that we're talking about, let them stay in the normal general population, which is nothing wrong with that, and let them have the benefit of those services, supporting them when they need it. But if I lose my phone, I have plenty of services from Apple to track where my phone is, at which point it's probably not going to be coming back in my hands anyway. So I just send a message to erase it. So I don't really see the validity of why a crypto wallet needs to tell me what country I'm in at this particular moment. Like, I don't see the value of that.
What if you lose your phone?
Then I'm going to wipe my phone from remote, but I don't keep my coins on there anyway. I mean, if I have the access to the coins.
That's you personally. And because of that, you're more comfortable with not being tracked and nobody knowing where you're.
There's nothing you're going to do. If your phone gets stolen from somebody, then you're just not going to get your phone back.
No.
You never know.
Personally,
I found an iPhone on the floor of a nightclub once, and some guy and with a car full of people showed up at my house wanting to know where his phone was.
Oh my God.
No bullshit. And I'm like, yeah, we got it. Like, here you go. It was cool. It was locked.
Well, I can exchange the story too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I agree with both. Like you said, meet in the middle, I guess. Let people choose what they want to do. But, I just can't help but feel like
they have to know the risks that go with it.
Huh?
Just let them know what the risks are for taking their decisions. I mean, give them a warning and says, we understand that you don't want to be tracked. You don't want to share your location. You don't want to share your personal data of this, and this that we're tracking when you're on the move with your device. You're taking that at your own risk. As long as you're comfortable with those risks, then please accept. And then they say yes, but make sure that they understand the risks, and then it's up to them. And they can always switch it back on if they want to.
Yeah.
Like, look what happens to Facebook now. Many people don't even know that they are being tracked constantly for every move they make because they
everybody knows now.
Oh yeah. If you don't know that now, then you've been watching Facebook.
I mean, they pop up adverts based on things they know about your very personal nature, including things about your like health device. It's like, oh, that's a little bit too much. Like, I don't need them knowing about my.
So you would think, from perspective of security and blockchain being all, decentralized, getting away from the banks, the control that these old corporations have over us, you would think, okay, blockchain, we are safe, secure, we can hide away, we can do whatever we want without Google. Guy says, if you don't anyone to know what you're doing, you shouldn't probably be doing it. We don't need that shit in blockchain. Sorry for language. My kids are asleep. So
we're live anyway. So
right. So
YouTube doesn't like it even if you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think that you should be able to choose whether you want this setting to be on or off, because this is your choice. We should be able to choose, because this is being created for people who want to escape the centralized world, the corporations, the banks, everyone that tries to get the claws into us. No offense, bro.
The claws.
Wow, so much fun.
Wow, I didn't see the claws coming out tonight there, did I?
Well, it's Steve's fault. He showed me the Liar movie. The claw is coming out.
The claw.
Oh,
the claw. Yeah, the Jim Carrey film. One of my favorite films of all time.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, but she'd never seen it, so
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit.
I took me some time to convince her. When I finally got her to sit down with mother-in-law,
grandma
loved it too. They were both giggling their butts off, so that was quite fun.
For me, it was
those cute flags.
The alcohol probably helped too because they all got a little bit tipsy when they were watching, so that was good.
Steve did.
You're just kind of I don't know, puzzled.
Who's a puzzle?
I know he's just kind of sitting there like, whatever, it's all good. I'm just chilling. I think he's watching the movie now down there.
Yeah, I am.
We got half of the Brady Bunch going. We're missing the rest. What other hot topics are going on right now? I haven't even checked like crypto news today or anything.
I haven't checked today. I can see what's happening. I've got a little app that I run that a friend of mine and I built. That's like a news consolidator app that we're just playing around with to.
I'm seeing so much.
Actually, we could put it onto your exchange if you wanted to have consolidated news across all the different channels.
Great idea.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that I plan that I want to do with this.
Ooh, Starbucks has unveiled a key detail about its secretive Bitcoin strategy today.
Oh, we can buy coffee with Bitcoin.
Well, at the rate they're going, you're going to need a whole Bitcoin just to buy a cup of coffee.
Bitcoin miners capitulated in December 2018, and it could signal the end of the bear market. Ernst & Young announces a new Bitcoin tool. I mean, what the interesting thing for me about the news that I'm seeing, because I've got this thing that pulls across 25 different news channels. What I'm seeing, which is really interesting, is the first 4 articles. It's like 3 Swiss firms complete their first real estate transaction. Then it says Starbucks. Then it says Ernst & Young. I mean, that's kind of interesting for me that the main news headlines are all major names of companies, and you don't normally see that. And then it's followed by Coinbase, which
it's called adoption.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I just watched that video. Somebody in the Murder of Crows Telegram group today linked a video.
Murder of Crows? Is this like a mystery game or something?
No, that's what you call a bunch of crows. It's called a murder.
Murder of crows.
Yeah.
Really?
Like a herd of cattle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gaggle of geese. It's a murder.
You don't really have a lot of crows around in London, so.
It's actually been really depressing because my Telegram group used to have almost like 9,000 people, and over the past year and a half in this bear market, it's dwindled down to like 4,000. Yeah, it's like everything is so depressing.
Good to see you got rid of all your bots.
Is that maybe that was what it is? Who knows? A lot of bots. I mean, it's still a pretty active group, and it's like the people that are in there are great. They're like the hardcore supporters, but it's it's sad to watch things bleed. Winds of
when it comes back, it's going to come back with a fury, and then we're going to be
fury of claws.
Oh my God, there's going to be more claws than you know what to do with. It's going to be like, you know what? Can I lend you some claws? No, thanks.
Yeah, I should. That's what I should have called the crow coin. Is the claw coin?
The claw coin.
Well, I love the fact that
you should have spoke to me before. I would tell you.
I should have.
It has a claw coin.
I should have. People have been sending this video around of Christine Lagarde. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Managing director at the IMF. Basically,
Christine Lagarde.
Christine Lagarde. Yeah, there you go. Tomato, smartass. No, I'm just kidding.
I just wanted to help out all of our listeners and subscribers. I wasn't really interested in how you felt about it.
Yeah. So and I watched the whole thing. It's just a 25-minute video that basically said nothing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen it?
No.
Oh. Well, you didn't miss anything. It's kind of my point.
Well, she's not really like a big supporter of Bitcoin anyway, so.
Well, it sounded like a typical technical analysis report. Like it could go either way. Like that's pretty much what it said. It was like, keep your eyes open. Bitcoin could change money or not. It's like, wow, you just blew me away with your brilliant.
She sounds like a typical banker that's just hedging her bets.
Basically.
Yeah, great. It's 50-50, up or down. Sideways is not an option. So, get with the program. Choose a side.
Yeah, she basically made it sound like, they're not convinced yet, but they're considering the idea of potentially creating a central, like a state coin, something that replaces fiat currency as we know it. Like, would that be a benefit?
Yeah, let's go for the
American Petro.
Yeah, let's just go with the Petro Bank coin from Venezuela. That was a huge success.
Why not? We'll all be trillionaires in Venezuela. Woo!
Yeah.
But look, was it Argentina and Venezuela, or 2 South American countries closed a huge commercial deal between the countries with Bitcoin?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see
that. Was like last week in the news. So it's like
too busy YouTubing, didn't have time to read it. Yeah.
What do you guys think of audio only podcasts?
Well, we do it.
Oh, so I guess you're favorable.
Well, we started with that and then moved over to YouTube, and now we do both.
See, that's what I've been thinking. Because it's like sometimes I would love to just come down late at night, pull the microphone close to my mouth, chill out with a drink.
Glass of wine.
And yeah, well, I'm not a wine drinker. My wife sucks down wine like a freighter, but like
I need her number. We will get along very well.
Oh, I'm sure you would. Like she can pound a bottle a night.
Oh, make it 5.
Honey.
I'm kidding. Hey, come on. Jokes, right?
So, I didn't even hear it.
Well, she didn't. Basically, she took 5 bottles of wine and she left Yuri and me the last bottle and you the last bottle. So that was kind of uncool. So that's why I said honey.
Wow. 5 bottles of wine?
I share.
No.
1 per each. I said, bring your wife and that's bottle each. That's a good calculation. Okay. I'm sorry.
Now I see.
You've all heard it here. We're inviting Crypto Crow to come visit us in London. So you come in for a visit then with all 4 kids and the cat.
You guys live in London. That's right. I keep forgetting that. What caused you to move to London?
Catastrophe. No, it was
no one knows really.
I just to be honest, I was working for a big consulting firm years ago and they asked me if I'd go to London for 2 weeks, or actually it wasn't even London, it was UK, it was Birmingham. And I went for 2 weeks and then couldn't get out. And I stayed for like 9 months. And then I was living in New York at the time, but working in London, and I was in London during the September 11th. So they basically asked people to relocate to whatever countries they were working in because they couldn't bring us back. So I said, well, I guess that's just a sign that I'm going to stay in London for a while longer. And I ended up staying. I've been here for like, I don't know, how many years now? 17 years?
It's crazy expensive to live in London. Like it's more expensive than New York.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
19
years? Oh my
19
God.
19 years. Wow.
Well, we've been married 7.5 years.
All right. Yeah. So I was already here 12. So the 12 plus 7 plus something is, I'm not very good at my maths, but that's what I have. Yeah.
My basic math is deplorable. Like I get so brain fried. I can stumble on 2 plus 3 sometimes.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's bad. And I hear about it in my comments sometimes too. Yeah, it's funny. But I'm the first to admit it. I used to be a math wizard, but nowadays I feel like I've got 3 brain cells left, and I can assign 1 to each thing at a time. That's about it.
Yeah, after kids, I feel you. Know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah, 4 kids. I'm old. I'm just a big old ogre. Just not. There are certain things I'm great at.
Lots of layers, right?
Wait. Ogre is a company, so you can be, flagged by, violating trademark, calling yourself something that is already TM. Ogre project.
Yeah, I guess they can come after me if they want.
No.
Ogre?
No.
Auger, right? You mean auger?
Auger. He said ogre.
He said ogre.
O-G-R-E.
No.
It's his accent.
Oh yeah, auger is A.
I think Polly's having a translation.
O-G-R-E.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a big auger.
I'm a big auger.
Very predictable.
Yes.
Yeah, we should trade you.
I'm gonna put a wager on auger that ogre.
AKA Jason
will launch his exchange 3 days late.
I haven't even set a hard date yet.
Well, there you go. See, then I'll probably win.
Maybe we should put variations of dates and just bet on each date.
Yeah, you can bet on what date in April. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on with it.
You should do it on my birthday, so then everybody has to find out what date is it.
What's your birthday?
Well, I just said we can bet on it, so obviously I can't tell you.
Gonna give away the bet.
He just told you he only has 3 brain cells left.
Right. Yes.
You gotta just go with the
I'm using 2 of them right now, just participating in this and reading my telegram.
Right. Got it. You couldn't hear me.
3 brain cells. He's an ogre.
They're very large brain cells, but there's only a limited supply of them.
It's in April. Somewhere in April. You have only like 30 days of April. So.
Oh my gosh, you're in April. Mine is too. I'm April 1.
Yeah.
You're a fool?
April Fool.
Oh my God,
I knew it. I knew there was something about you, Crow. I knew it.
The jokes coming out.
Oh, they're so witty.
Jokes and jokes.
Articles.
Listen, if we can't wind you up, what can we possibly do?
Well, so what else do you guys do on this channel? You just hang out? You go over EOS and...
Well, normally we have guests. We do some scam alerts and call out scams. We
eat some snacks, order some
we have chicken wings
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
my
interview
wife
cool
promised me a really
people.
yummy dinner tonight. It's 4:00. I'm excited to see. I think we're gonna have steak and shrimp as my guess because I saw it in the freezer in the fridge.
That sounds like an exciting dinner.
Yeah.
Yuri, what you having for dinner?
We just kind of cover whatever interests us, but we do kind of focus on, educating and keeping people aware of what's going on. But we're not like news focused. We try to interview projects and we try to dig into things and really just kind of break them down. But we just keep it to one topic at a time per episode. I mean, I know a lot of other YouTubers, they'll cover like 6 things in one episode, but we try to target to audiences so that they get to follow what's interesting to them rather than trying to overload. But we used to in the early days, we used to do a lot of topics in once, and then we realized it wasn't working for people. So we've been modifying as we go. So
I think I plan on changing my channel like here soon. Like I love the way Joe Rogan Experience is set up. I love the 2 mics, camera switching back and forth, talking to people. I love doing it like right there in the same room instead of the Zoom and the it's like I doubt I'll be able to get anybody. It's like the views on my videos have dropped down like 2,500. You know what I mean? It's like pathetic anymore.
Late night crow.
Yeah, it's like it's depressing. It's so sad.
That's tough.
But like when I get back to doing a regular video and I'm not so slammed, I think it'll come back. It'll grow again pretty quickly. But it's just there's so much stuff.
How long can you be in bear market, right?
Well, yeah, there are a lot less eyeballs.
Right should be hibernating. Yeah.
Exactly.
People are hibernating, but I think it's time for people to wake up because I think stuff is brewing right now. I feel like we're in a tea kettle that's just starting to steam.
Oh,
and I do. I think things are gonna.
The horny bulls.
The horny bulls.
What?
Spring is coming.
That sounds like an inside joke.
I'm actually just baffled as you at 9:20 p.m. I have no idea what's going on here.
No, I explained myself. We were in the car today, and
you got to limit her to half a bottle of wine now, Steve. That's what.
I got to go get another half a bottle for myself because I need to catch up here. Apparently,
get her a glass of wine. All of a sudden, horny bulls start coming into the conversation.
So there was this crazy song on the radio, and you said something like, how did they come up with horny in these songs nowadays?
No. I said, where does the word horny come from?
Because the guy was singing something horny.
Because it's okay. Let me roll back and I'll tell the story. So she's driving the car, so she doesn't know what I said.
I can drive. Yes.
The question was, so we're listening to a song. I've got my 4-year-old in the back seat, and this guy singing a song, and the word horny comes out, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want my 4-year-old going around saying horny. So then I said to her, where does the word horny come from anyway? And she said it comes from horny bulls. And I said,
I'm like,
okay, sure, we'll go with that. But let's ask you, Yuri. So, what's your opinion? Where does the word horny come from?
Oh, the wife is here.
I got my wife, my backup.
My backup.
Hi.
She's bringing you dinner, or
no, she's like whispering hi. She's acting all weird. Love you. She's like, "Are you live? Are you on a video right now?" Because if I'm a thing, I like keep everybody out.
All right.
Yeah, because I might be on a rant.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion, Crow? Where's the word horny come from?
Toads.
Horny toads. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I have no idea, honestly.
If only there was a device.
I'm sure it has something to do with medieval times. Like, and I'm sure there's probably a really dirty story associated with it that nobody probably wants to hear.
Probably.
Here it is.
Somebody was so desperate that a horn was involved.
Yes.
And so they applied that term to what it means to want to get down. That's
exactly what it is. That's exactly it. That's I just Googled it. Are
you serious?
Yeah, it's a slang term, the etymology of horny. It was defined as horn this was the 1889, early as 1863. So really? Because of the shape of a horn, oops.
There you go. I'm brilliant sometimes. What can I say?
Oops.
That was the third brain cell I just activated.
Oh. Whoa. Oh, and we just lost. Oh, I think Yuri just dropped it because
I think he said, oops.
Oops, because his battery died.
I thought he looked it up and then he just dropped the mic and peaced out.
Yeah, that was a mic drop, definitely. That was a real mic drop.
Oh, man. Is he coming back?
I don't know. I'll check and see on Telegram if he pings me. My computer battery just died. Okay, there you go.
Battery died.
Computer battery died?
Who doesn't carry like charger with him?
Yuri never plugs in his laptop. I mean, Yuri's going to.
He's on his laptop. I'm like, computer battery. Who does this on a freaking what kind of computer would you need to charge?
Yeah, well, Yuri's not a techie, so he talks about computer battery.
Yeah.
We've been in trouble with
No.
He sees that.
I'm just winding him up without his being here. It's so uncool.
He doesn't just plug it in.
Well, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. He seems to always, every time we do the episodes together, he's like, I've got enough battery for this one. I'm like, okay, great. And then then
I come on and drag everything out, and then I make his battery go dead.
No, it's all right. Well, that's why I posted it in the group. I'm like, just if anyone wants to pop in and say hello, just come and have a laugh.
Yeah, that's what I figured I'd do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you guys.
We're gonna bounce. We got to make sure our kids are still in bed, actually, because they've obviously decided that it's more important to have a laugh and come and visit us. So
yeah, I think
I'm glad you came in. It was very cool.
Being presented with dinner, and I'm starving, so I'm gonna take my ogre self out of here.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's cool. And
pleasure.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Hopefully, more people do this in the group. So we just.
I'm glad you started encouraging it, and I decided to with Yuri. I said, you know what? Let's just talk about EOS and see if anyone joins us. So it was very cool.
Yeah, I didn't know you were talking about EOS, or I might have stayed away.
Well, I was only talking about EOS because the chart's doing something interesting, not because I like the project, but not because I'm going to influence people on what they decide, because we're not giving advice. But
I swear, I wish I had the time to just sit here for 8 hours every day and learn technical trading. I really, really want to learn so bad, but I don't know. Someday. I
did an episode with Trader Cobb last week, and he's brilliant, really good.
We've been trying to do something for like 4 months, man. And we had something set up and I guess he got like super, super sick and we didn't do it. And then you know how people message me like, hey, what can we do something? And they drop like a rock in Telegram. So I got to sit here and scroll down, see everybody that I missed. And it's just like such a pain in the neck. And then I've tried a few times, but I do everything so last minute right now. It's like, I've got an extra couple hours. I could do something random. Are you free? And of course, nobody responds until it's too late. Well, so I'll have them on.
I'm always doing this stuff. This is like, I'm just glued to the whole crypto world.
I might start doing a crazy show.
Really?
Yeah.
My wife is. I've been helping her. She's plotting course for a channel of her own. It's going to cover all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
From parenting to dancing to business to makeup and just all kinds just a variety show. So just something fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and if your wife does the same thing,
what your wife?
You just said like you're going to be doing something, and
I have a name. I don't have to always be as the wife.
Well, okay. If Blondie over there is going to do the same thing, you can actually create a playlist for her channel on your channel and save all of the videos.
They could have their own collaboration. That would be brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. You can have conversations
and cats and dogs and so forth.
You can have conversations about cats and dogs
and kids. Yeah.
McAfee and Cardano.
I have 4 dogs and I have kids.
Oh. That sounds like too
pets much. Are pets. You have to clean after them and do all sorts of weird stuff. You don't want to know.
Litter boxes and stuff like that, no?
No.
Yeah, you don't do that. Your wife does it. That's the thing.
Don't make the kids do.
He said he's an ogre. He said he's an ogre, honey.
Yeah, I'm not allowed close to the pets because everybody knows I'll eat them.
Oh, right. Got you.
Wow, that's a great way. This is such a great.
We inviting you, but let me know exactly the date so I booked the dog hotel for all of my dogs.
I was going to say book the dog hotel for him.
Dog hotel. Wow. All right, you guys are a trip. I'm going to go eat dinner. Thanks for having me.
Dinner is great seeing you, and thanks everybody for checking us out today. Check out Crypto Crow over on Crypto Crow.
Crow your coins.
Crow your coins. Gotta crow your coins.
Oh man.
See